Seattle area. Well, I live in the Seattle area. I'm not from here. What about you?
I'm in Calgary in Canada.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And Tim, where were you?
I'm in West Virginia. We saw the Northern Lights last night.
Oh, I know. It looks so cool.
What the heck?
People here saw them too, but I didn't stay up late enough because I had to be up.
We went all the way to Iceland and Norway last March to see the Northern Lights. I mean, yeah, it was a much better show, but still, to be able to, like, my wife pulled me out of the shower and she's like, babe, there's the Northern Lights out here. I'm like, yeah, right. Like, shut up, you know.
So
No,
cool.
it was actually a beautiful 30-minute show from my backyard. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So
That's amazing. Yeah, my parents are in Manitoba and they saw them last night at the lake, and I was like, so beautiful.
All right,
Anyway,
if you guys see me looking down, I'm just this is my only way to be able to record this, sadly. So, yes, we are recording, but I need to until I have that NDA paperwork. I just need verbal agreements from you guys. We need to maintain the integrity of this mentorship. This will be allowed. Okay, this intellectual property will be allowed for you to be transferred. It will be allowed for you to use, but it's got to be paying students, okay? You can't post this to your social media. You can't put it in your caption, the secrets that we talk about. Oh, you should be doing trying to give value and all this stuff. We can't do that because then the whole mentorship is your own mentorship, right? So I expect you to be able to package this information in your own way and be able to do your own mentorships and stuff. That's completely fine. But it is not meant for the masses, and the recording that I make is not meant to be shared other than, again, your paying students. All right, and I have no choice but to be strict on this. I'm attorneyed up. I hate it, but it's just the way the space is. It sucks. But I already had somebody really screw me over. Okay, like bad. All right, so and I've already learned some hard lessons. So
I just want to I'm not planning to give any of this away for free, but if there's something you say in this that is either not common sense, but something we already know or something we know from before, you're not going to come after us
right,
if we
No.
Okay.
Come on. I'm a pretty reasonable dude. I'm a pragmatic, you know.
Well, I'm just making sure.
But especially, and this is why I haven't put it in, PDF or a PowerPoint or anything either, because that's how it really gets, you have no control over that. And so many people have wanted to package this. Now, ultimately, a much more deep, elaborate version of this will be probably put into a course. Okay, I probably will be doing my own course. But as of right now, I'm still, I'm only 3.5 months in. I've got a lot of growing and learning and stuff to do myself about being a course operator. I have my own career, so my time and all this stuff, I mean, good Lord. As you guys know, this is not a 2-hour-a-day thing like they try to claim. So, all right, now,
for sure.
If we need a 120-second bathroom break or something like that, let me know. We do need to stay punctual because, Elsa, you've got something going on right at 90 minutes from now. All right. So we've got a lot to get through. Let's get started. Elsa, you have UBC and just SFBI. You don't have another intro course or anything?
No. Well, I did. It was the Learn and Earn Profits, but that was back in August, and I did not like it all.
It doesn't sell. It's very complex. I have Lipo. And the only reason I leave that on my store is to validate me when I'm talking to someone that's like diehard roadmap. Guys, when you're talking to someone, our ideal, since we both have UBC, I'll tell you right now, this whole call, this is our main money is UBC by far. But when we're talking to somebody and they have the intro course, that's our primary, that's what we want. We want a digital marketer that's quick. They're already into digital marketing, way easier than someone brand new coming into digital marketing. We want someone with those introductory courses and they're missing the step 2. All right, that's what we want. That is our primary favorite customer. They're the quickest, easiest. They require the most time, the least time, and it's the most logical for them to move on to buy UBC. Right? This is a very logical business decision. Now, real quick, I'm sorry, I'm actually, for once, instead of just running through what I've done over and over and over again, I'm actually trying to translate this into a little bit of a diagram to be able to later put into a course for once. I've done this call so many times now. All right, so what we want are the people with just an intro course and nothing further. That's our ideal person. And so, Rosie, you have UBC, you've got some intro courses, you've got TMC.
At TMC, I have Simply Passive. It's not in my store anymore.
Right.
And I actually have Roadmap, but it's also not in my store.
Good. And I'm going to teach you why. You have actually the perfect product suite, just so you know. And I'm going to teach you why. All right. So, same thing, reason I have Lipo Max, right? When I run across somebody and they're the diehard Roadmap fan, okay, I'll go ahead and sometimes, occasionally, I have been known to say a fib. I'll be like, yeah, I had Roadmap. It was so complex. I pulled it off, but I'm actually such a Roadmap fan. I still got the Lipo Max, whatever you call it, because it's the legal rebrand of Roadmap, right? There's nothing wrong with Lipo Max. It's a legal rebrand. And so that validates me, even though I never sold it a single time, and I only bought it for the mentorship. I literally ran across somebody that made $100,000, da 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 da, and I'm like, you know what? Like, you're the first person to actually give me a few minutes of time and call me up and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I think I do need. It would be smart for me to go ahead and invest in mentorship. Now, she helped me a little bit, but she didn't mentor me. It was kind of a waste of $500. But did she guide me a little bit? Sure. Did she mentor me? No, not at all. Not at all. So I learned a lot of valuable lessons, and I learned what I wanted to be. I learned that I wanted to be someone to actually help. Now, sadly, this takes a lot more time and sucks the life out of you when you're really, really hand-holding people like this. But it's okay. It's what has made me stick out. And after 14 years of sales management, I was finally able to package this and find a way to translate it from the real world to the digital world. And had a couple guinea pigs to start off with, and just kind of worked with them hand because the real sales manager of any industry, right? It's going to be a different climate on every. It doesn't matter if you're selling jewelry or cars, insurance, whatever. It's all a different climate, right? It's a very different pitch, a different sale, and so all of the different industries that I worked in and sold all these different things, they all had sales management or senior sales leader of some sort that allowed me to kind of sit in with them and shadow them and hear their pitch, be with them side by side, selling them, right? As I listened to them sell. So I'm like, how can I possibly package this and do this in a way for my people here in the digital world? And so, as you know, you start to become friends with people here, and it quickly turned into me answering their conversations for them and showing them how I would reply. And sure enough, it started like effortlessly closing sales. And I'm just like, okay, this is how I can teach people. Like, finally, they get to see my replies. And honestly, guys, I've had people pick this up, and within 1 week. It's a 14-day class. I've yet to hold anybody accountable to exactly 14 days, so I'm not worried about that. It's just an idea of I don't want my student to feel rushed ever or anything like that. And there's some people that I may be completely done with after 14 days, so I need to put some sort of time constraint on it. But honestly, I've yet to hold even one person accountable to, okay, your 14 days is up. No, it's not like that at all, okay? But I've had the people that do the best are the people that follow my directions, right? It's really, and this is not me being arrogant or anything like that. I don't know everything about sales. I don't know everything about the online sales world. I figured the climate out and the atmosphere out pretty quickly. We have the right products. And quite honestly, I feel like UBC is a pretty easy sale. So if I sell someone UBC, I usually give them a week or two to see if they're even need sales training before I try to say, hey, why don't we work together one-on-one with sales or something, right? Because it's such an easy sale if you're selling it right that you don't necessarily, some people may be fine just after this call. People get off this call and they're on cloud nine, they're motivated, and that sometimes some people will make a sale within 24, 48 hours. They're on it. Some people get right on it. And Rosie, I know you're kind of on a vacation and stuff, so I don't expect you to hit the ground. Now, I'm not going to hold you all accountable to like perfect numbers or anything like that. Again, I'm flexible, and I expect the same out of you guys, because just recently, for the first time in 3.5 months that I've been doing this week I got hit with life, and I had a weird week where I spent the entire week with attorneys and in church and in counseling with my pastor, trying to get through some things in my life and stuff. So occasionally a 3-day span or something, I went to Disney 2 weeks ago or something, right? I had to ask for a little bit of patience and leeway with my students on those conversations and such. So how this works, we get done with our call here, and you'll be armed with everything you need. You'll have the full rundown of how I do things and what the model is that's successful for other people that have replicated it. And then you may need help in the very beginning just to do the transfer, just to do the progression from small talk to digital marketing. But honestly, that's very easy. Your transition should be very simple. I expect you guys to kind of be able to do your own transitions here relatively soon. But if you need help in the very, very beginning, why don't you guys quickly tell me just a little bit about how long you've been doing this and what kind of sales you've had so far?
So I've been doing this for, I guess, going on 7 weeks now. And I got my first sale in UBC. I got my first sale last week, and it was UBC. And then I had 3 SFBI and 2 small ticket items.
Perfect.
Like within 24 hours.
And you're right at that point. It's that 4 to 6 weeks area that things really start to happen. Rosie, how about you?
Right.
Okay, well, I've been in a bit longer. I've been in for like 4 months. I started right after Christmas. And so I guess coming up on 5 months. And I sold Simply Passive 3 times before shit hit the fan with that.
Yeah.
And then I sold UBC twice. And then some smaller ticket items like Real Riches, and I created my own product. So I've sold that a few times as well.
Okay, so this is actually really perfect. And I think I'm going to start doing this on computer more often, because when I do it on the phone, there's just a 1 second delay, and there's like a walkie-talkie thing where only one person can speak at the exact same time. And this way it's okay if we interrupt each other by 1 syllable and it doesn't cause conflict in the conversation. I like this better. So I'm glad. Thank you guys. More guinea pigs. I love it. All right. So, and this is not a competition or anything. We all have different schedules. We all have different hurdles in life and things. But to give you guys some idea, I'm at 3 months and 3 weeks. I am at 29.5. I'm barely under 30,000. It turned on for me my very first week I had a couple warm audience sales. At that time, I only had a small $300 introductory course, and that's good. We want those. Else, I highly recommend, after we get off this call here in the next week or two or something or other, I have one, she has one. I'm not a person that says, oh, I'm your mentor, you have to buy from me. No. We're in a group. We're all a family. If you decide the mentorship after this call is the best course of action for you, buy it from her, okay? Or buy it from your friend or whatever the case. I'm not one of those people. I make plenty of sales. So my job is to get my family up and running. I've already given away sales that I've closed, and so I looked and I'm like, oh crap, one of my students is one of our mutual friends. Have you by chance talked about UBC with them? Oh yeah, a month ago. But it doesn't matter. Boom, you need to contact them and buy from them. I'm not going to sell to you, right? My family eats first. Period. Now, I like the cheap introductory courses. Because of the upsell ability. All right, that's first things first. Sales are, you can look at it 2 ways. We can get more sales, which I love, but we can also get upsales. Either one at the end gives us a higher gross figure, right? So we don't care which one we're doing. If we can sell you more at once, or we sell more sales throughout the week, either one, it's more volume. That's what we care about. We care about the much volume as possible. however way we can do that. All right. So for right now, Elsa, all you can do is if you got a brand new person, and we're going to get there in just a minute, but if you got a brand new person, you need to be letting them know that they absolutely need SFBI and UBC, right? So
Yeah.
we have a way in sales. I'm getting ahead of myself just a little bit, but it's okay. We have a way in sales. Have you ever heard the rule, the first person that mentioned numbers loses? Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah, you said it in one of our chats.
yeah. So it's a good one to think about, right? So if we're on a car lot, we're trading in a car. The salesman says, "Well, how much do you need out of it?" Your answer is, "Much as you'll give me," right? We want as much of our trade in as we can get. Well, what do you want your monthly payment to be? Low as it gets? As low as you can make it, right? You go mentioning a number, then that salesman can restructure your entire loan, give you a bad percentage rate or whatever the case, so that they make more money. You gave numbers, you lose. Okay, so what if your car, you know darn well that thing is worth 10,000 or whatever the case, and you're adamant on giving 10,000, but at the same time gonna be lowballed a little bit. So he asks you, and you're like, you know what? I'll take 8 or whatever. Boom! That just told the salesman you'll take the low ball number. He might have given you 10, but you opened your mouth. You got it. So same thing with think about insurance. I sold insurance. I'm a vice president of sales for insurance. Is my executive level sales. And so one of the tricks that we had to get that number out of their mouth was, well, what are you paying for your premium right now? Okay. And what does that tell us? That tells me who's this person that has a family of health insurance. He's paying $580 a month, let's say. Okay. What are you paying for your premium right now? $580. Okay, cool. That tells me what you're willing to pay. You're already paying it. All right. So I look through all of my different policies and I find one that can come in as low as $450. Well, am I going to sell it to you at $450 and be like, bro, I can save you $130? No. I'm going to add a bunch of riders to build that up. Now I'm only coming in $40 or $50 cheaper than your current policy. You're still going to take it because it's cheaper, but now I'm making more money because I added in some. You never even know that I added in riders, right? And sometimes that actually helped me dramatically because something happened. The person, had a crazy death or whatever the case, and I added in riders that they didn't even know about, and they got all this extra money on the death benefit, and they're like calling me up like, holy crap, you really built my policy well. Thank you. So sometimes it really works out, right? So it's not all about money. Now, so what
Sorry,
we're going to... Go.
I was gonna say, I'm sure you're gonna dive into this, but how, and yeah, maybe I'm jumping the gun, but how does this relate when all our prices are in our store?
Well, so again, this is the same level. So when someone's coming into digital marketing, we're starting, I have to touch on the upsell portion because there's only a couple areas that you get an opportunity to do this upsell. And one of those is when you've got a brand new digital marketer. Okay, so when my own friend wants to follow me into digital marketing, I don't give you a choice. I don't say, hey, there's this thing. You can start for as low as 300 with TMC, but you're really going to kind of need this one also. So let's do this. No. I don't give you a choice. Look, it's an $800 startup. Okay, you're going to need two different courses. You really don't have a choice. To be successful here, you need 3 things. You need an introductory course. You need a step 2. And you need some sort of PLR or affiliate items that you can either sell in the background for small ticket sales, or so that you can combine and give away, purchase through your own link or whatever the case, just to close a sale. Now we're going to get there. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but and that's not bundling. Don't get confused. All right, we're not bundling anything. This is a separate transaction just to close the sale. All right. Don't get confused. So many people act like, oh, isn't that bundling? We're not allowed to do that anymore. That's not bundling. All right. Now,
if we're buying something for them, that's not bundling?
No, that's a separate transaction, right? So
Right.
now it's a different story if
You can't
you're
market
selling
that
them
way.
both. Now listen, legal terminology, words mean things, okay? So if I'm selling you and I'm advertising today for one low price of $4.99, you get SFBI and UBC together. That's a bundle, right? This is legal. We got to get black and white here. All right. Now, if I'm on the phone with you, or I'm on a call with you, or we're going back and forth in our messages, and we're going to get there. Someone is needing a little push or whatever the case, they're almost there, but we got to give them a little something or other to give them the push to be able to make that close today. Then a lot of times we use what PLR put out. The PLR project is great because the PLR project already came out and openly said, hey guys, it's completely okay if you buy the PLR project using your own link for your client. It's a separate transaction, has nothing to do with the sale of UBC. Okay, so if I want to verbally agree with someone, hey, you know what? If you buy this today, we put a time limit on when you do stuff like that. If you want to take care of this today, you put scarcity, urgency, and value, SUV. Those are always needed in any sale. Now, not all of them can we have in this type of sale, but we try to create as much of it as possible. SUV, scarcity, urgency, value. And so you're going to give this value, this additional urgency, this additional deal, right? And then you put some urgency on it, scarcity on it. I'm only going to do this once, blah, 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 blah. You have, if you want to take care of this today, it's a weekend. I do this every Saturday. So if you want to do this today, I'll go ahead and throw in SFBI. I'm going to purchase it through my own link and give it to you, right? So there's nothing wrong with that.
Do you think that they could come back once they find out that bundling's on a thing and like tell the creators? Do you know what I mean?
Go ahead. You didn't break any laws. You did your own, right? It's a separate transaction.
Got it. Okay.
Without divulging too much of my personal life, I have been through every possible scenario. All of probably my closest friends. I'm in medicine, and most of my friends are either in medicine or in law. And I've spent this entire week with attorneys, all right? Like, I'm a federal official, and things get deep, okay? And if there's one thing that I know, is when it comes time for law, words mean things, and you can't just assume that because I'm doing this separate transaction or whatever, that's not a bundle. Listen, UBC did it as a marketing technique, just so you guys know. Remember we just talked about scarcity, urgency, value? All right. Just like they later added the introductory modules. That was a marketing technique. This was not a coincidence. Oh, because Simply Passive has drama, we're going to go ahead and add beginner modules to help you guys. No. This was planned from the very beginning, right? We're going to market this as a step 2 only course to make ourselves stand out from all these other introductory course regurgitations. Now that we got everyone understanding and selling that this is a step 2 course, now we're going to add the beginner modules to make it beginner friendly. Now it's a course available for everyone, right? Now it's like ultra viral, right? Same thing. Oh guys, after long and hard discussions, we decided we're not going to allow bundling anymore. The last day for this is May 1st, blah, 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 blah. That is all marketing, guys. This is BS, okay? Same thing when you're digital marketers, you see it all over your feeds. I told my students this, capitalize on this date, okay? Make everyone think, oh my gosh, this is your last chance to get all these things dealed, okay, right? Like, you want to capitalize on the scarcity, urgency, and value always. So anytime, why do you think all these programs have a pre-sale? And for 7 days, you can get it for cheaper than you will on week number 2 or something, right? That's the whole purpose. This is all marketing. It's a normal sales tactic that every industry uses. And so you got to see through that, and you can capitalize on it yourself. You can post to your own stories and stuff. Guys, last day to be able to get the bundle, da, 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 da. It works. Scarcity, urgency, value. It works. So, all right. Now, I do not consider a whole lot of this coming from an actual salesperson, coming from an actual sales professional with high level sales. I'm only using about 30% of my sales skills here. I'll be honest. This is not a whole lot of sales, right? The very, very, very beginning is sales, and the very end at the closing table is sales. The middle, not so much. That's the helping, what they call nurturing. For me, it's really just helping, because that middle section is just sifting through all the people and looking for people that you can help. Who is it that we can help? Anybody without the most viral product like UBC. Who is it we can help? Anybody without an intro course or a something that's really going to help them, like SFBI. You got a small account, you need this. Guess what? This is going to, you know what I mean? This is going to help you. You need it. You don't have a step 2, you need it, right? You don't have an intro course, you need it, right? I only sell like $2,000, $1,500 a month in intro courses, but isn't a $300 or a $500 investment to give me $1,500 a month consistently still a great ROI? Yes, of course. Can you make the good digital marketing money by only an introductory course? No, you can't. Unless you're on TikTok only. TikTok is only going to be your introductory courses. There's all these kids coming in, they want to get in digital marketing. So you can make a living with only an introductory course on TikTok, but you can't do it on Instagram. All right? I can't say you can't. There's plenty of people out there that got 60,000 followers that don't only sell Roadmap over and over again or whatever, I'm sure. But let's be realistic. Most of our audience here on Instagram is the digital marketer. So we capitalize on that. UBC is absolutely critical. So, listen, and we're going to get there in just a sec also, but just to paraphrase real quick, remember our business model is master resale rights. Okay. That is our business model. So keep it simple. Let's think for a second, like the reel that I posted today, just like a TikTok lead. You got an 18-year-old kid coming to you. Hey, can you tell me about digital marketing? Right. What's our first response? We're not going to go into every little detail. No. Keep it simple, right? All we do is we buy the best selling digital products. We buy them one time and then we resell them over and over again for 100% profit. Simple. That's all we say in the beginning. That's it. Then go ahead.
Sorry, I just want, like, most of the people who buy from me, and this is something I've asked you as well, is if it, like, how transferable skills would be. A lot of the people that buy from me don't want to just, like, do MRR. They want to get into, like, create their own digital
That's
products
great.
and stuff.
That's great. But guess where the starting point is? Guess what you have to do before you can create your own successful product or your own mentoring or your own course? You have to be successful with MRR. So it's your job to teach these people, to teach them their entrepreneurial hats, saying, look, I understand you want to do your own thing. You also have a biomedical feedback business on the side. I understand that you want to do this, but guess what? The fastest vehicle to success in digital marketing is master resale rights, high tickets. You do this for a pathetic 6 weeks, okay? You do this exact model for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and you get numbers like I do, and guess what? You can do anything you want. My mentorship, this mentorship should be $1,500. All right, this is crazy. So, you guys will probably be the very last. You guys and I have 2 other onboards this week. One of them had to drop out till next week. I just can't fit anymore on. I'm on a wait list. So this cohort will be my very last $500 cohort. Okay, I just can't maintain this for this cheap anymore. The amount of work that I'm putting in. So once you have some numbers like I did at just 6 or 8 weeks, then you can do anything you want. All right. It's okay that you've got clients that want to do other things. It's okay that you want to transfer these skills and do that. But right now, we got to teach you how to become successful first. Nobody cares about your product unless you're successful. Okay. You're not going to make any sales. All right. You can work for weeks on that product and it can be an amazing product. But if you've got no notoriety and 500 followers and you got no numbers to show, no mentor, no students with numbers to show, no whatever the case, then guess how many sales you're going to get on that product? You're going to get less than 10 sales. Unless it's super low ticket or whatever the case and you market them to your stories all the time or whatever. Don't get me wrong. But are you going to make any real money? Are you going to be successful in digital marketing? No. You've got to build up, just like my mentorship, okay? I couldn't go immediately and say, oh, I have this amazing mentorship that I'm with you for 2 weeks teaching you how to sell, and it's a $2,000 quality priced product, I'm not going to be able to go to right to 2,000. Nobody's going to listen to me. But if I start at 300, 400, 500, and I show now I've got students that make $2,000 per week consistently, even after the mentorship, now I can do whatever I want, right? So we have no choice. You have to teach your clients that the starting point for all things digital marketing is master resale right high tickets. You've got to get some numbers until you can pump out at least 2 months in a row at $5,000 or $6,000 each month or something or other at probably the minimum. Then's when you're starting to get some traction enough to be able to do your own stuff. But the fastest vehicle to success is this, I promise. And the fastest vehicle of the MRR space is UBC. Nothing is as viral as this. Nothing is as sellable as quickly as this. All right.
You know much about the new, like, I keep seeing it pop up. I can't remember the name of it, but it has like the Meta creator, or like one of the Meta people created this new course.
Oh, I've heard about it, but I don't.
Something. Okay.
I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it yet.
Okay.
And that's smart for them to market something like that a Meta person created it. Absolutely. There's another one that's floating around that people are starting to reach out to me for because I run my page Christian. It's a kingdom entrepreneur. If you guys don't know, I got back from Dubai and I'm just kind of like frustrated that there's so many people in the world that have way more money than me. And God just lit a fire on me and said, start a business, and I'm like, I have no idea I've never wanted to start a business before. God just led me to it. And so when digital marketing fell in my lap, I knew for 100% that this was my move and this is what I needed to do. And so as a kingdom entrepreneur, I didn't need the money. I'm already wildly successful. I didn't want to start a business for any other reason other than God told me to. All right. I don't need the money. So I'm using the money for however God tells me to use the money. Okay. And right now I feel like I've been to 30 countries and I feel like I am possibly meant to run a foundation that supports missions trips to Central and South America. I love philanthropy. I absolutely love, if you can't tell, I kept that at the very top of my page when I sponsored a family of 5 kids, Inca tribe descendants in Peru. And they live off of $700 a year, 700 USD a year. And I immediately knew that I wanted to sponsor them for a year. And they broke out in a little happy dance and everything for me. And I've yet to even find anyone that speaks that dialect to be able to translate what they're singing. And I know tons of Peruvians and nobody knows what they're saying. So it's just so magical to me, and I love that what I came up with because I felt this within my heart. Money can buy you happiness, but only in the form of donation. When you bless somebody else like that, you are the happiest person. When I teach someone, when one of my students is like, oh my God, I just made another $2,000 this week. Oh my gosh, this 4 weeks in a row now, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like there is nothing better than helping someone else have that kind of success, right? I've already had it. Once you have enough to pay your bills and live the way you want to, I promise you have to find other things to motivate you to keep going. Because you lose it, right? You get in the stagnance, right? All right, let's keep going. So first things first. Okay, let me ask you guys real quick. So as I talked about, the very, very beginning of this funnel, the very, very beginning of all of this, I do consider sales because a salesman absolutely needs to understand that every industry is a little different, right? And every industry is a little different and you need X amount of leads to equal Y amount of sales. All right. So on the car lot, I need to talk to 7 different people that come up on that lot that day to guarantee myself 1 or 2 sales. All right. In the jewelry store, if I'm not getting through 100 people each day as they browse through the cases of the jewelry, then I can't expect to make my quota for the day of 10,000 or whatever it is. In insurance, if I'm not on at least 5 to 8 appointments each week, then I can't expect to make my $2,000 that week. right? So every industry has a different now. So we have to understand we need X amount of leads to equal Y amount of sales. That is sales. No denying that. We have to understand that's not marketing, that's sales. We must understand we need the leads. So one by one, Elsa first. I'm not talking marketing. I don't mean reels and stories. That's marketing. What are you doing for lead gen, or what are you doing to get your leads up on a daily basis? What kind of outreach or anything else are you doing?
Yeah. So anytime someone follows me, or I three ways. Anytime someone follows me, anytime someone comments on one of my reels and or likes one of my reels, I will go and message them and just say thank you for the follow, or thank you so much for your sweet comment, or whatever it is. And then I say, hey, I have a really great guide in my store that I'm offering for free. Please go check that out. Let me know if you have any questions. And then I also do that with accounts that I find either on larger accounts, see who's engaging with them, or on like the Instagram suggested following list. I go in and I'll message them and say, hey, I see you just started digital marketing, or whatever it is. I have this amazing guide that should could definitely help you out. Please let me know if you have any questions. How's everything going?
Okay, so you've got some outreach, some regular outreach going on, right? And so in the sales world, we would say that's external guerrilla marketing, right? So whether it be flyers, handing out, whatever the case, that's your way of outreach, your reach.
Yeah.
Rosie, do you have anything to add? Are you doing the same? You doing more? What are you doing?
I would say I'm probably doing less. I'm not really. I've been focusing not that much on sales, which is why I think I need the sales strategy. I'm not a very salesy person, and so I'm engaging with other accounts. I've been mostly focusing on building my following and not as much on sales. So I'm not cold messaging anyone. I was engaging with new followers for a little bit, but I stopped doing that.
You don't even engage with new followers? What?
No, I know, I'm so bad. I have over 100 people who have grabbed my free guide. But
that's more than me, girlfriend. I started doing email marketing two weeks ago, and I got 2 sales from it.
You did?
Well, that's good. That's actually how I sold my own product, was by email marketing to people that had grabbed my guide. But honestly, I hate emails, and so I hate being spammed by I hate being on people's email lists. So I have been trying not to. So when there was the UBC promo bundling thing ending, I emailed people to let them know about that. And then I emailed leading up to the launch of my new product. But those are the only emails I've done. So honestly, I'm not doing any active lead outreach.
But that is still email outreach. It is still outreach. Okay, that still counts. But let's think for a second. Remember, we talked about mathematically, we need X amount of leads to equal Y amount of sales. Yeah. All right, so we've got to think of a way that we can knock out numbers and reach penetrating numbers. Now, email marketing is okay. It's not real successful statistically in terms of opens and click-throughs is how we look at email marketing. The click-through rate is very, very low compared to DMs. DMs are king in all of online marketing and sales. All right, so now, don't get me wrong, it's okay. It does help nurture. It does make some small end sales. It does keep you present and on the forefront of someone's brain, and it makes them want to come back to your page and say, oh yeah, I got your email, or whatever the case. Email marketing is okay. That is still outreach, but it kind of still follows under the marketing umbrella, not so much the leads, the lead generation umbrella. And so what we have to do is we have to come up with a way to reach our numbers to be able to make this happen. All right. So, and this formula is designed so that, unless you're a horrible salesperson that doesn't follow any of my rules, then this formula is what equates out to that 2 to 6 sales per week, depending on your closing skills. All right. So what we're going after here is a minimum of $1,000 a week. All right. 2 sales a week. And that's the formula, all right? So if your closing skills aren't quite refined, you're still working with me, a normal volume of the first week of us working together would be 2 sales, all right? The people that follow directions and really get to work, they've had 4 sales their very first week. So to be able to make $2,000 their very first week working with me, as you guys know, I know Rosie, you know Drew. So for instance, a vacation, okay, while I was at Disney, okay, Drew followed directions so well and had good numbers so well that I went ahead and told my sales mastery group, hey guys, I'm on vacation. If I don't answer you right away, Drew is pretty checked out. She knows about how I'm going to reply. So you can ask her for help. You can ask her to reply for you of how she would reply. She's got it checked out pretty well. Now I don't know anything else about her or anything like that, but in terms of the sales process, she followed directions. She did $4,100 in her 14 days with me, and she's continued to do $2,000 weeks ever since. So she's one of my protege models, and there's been a few others that kind of got free training from me because there was some girls that I became friends with that helped me learn how to package this and how to formulate this from the external sales world to this world. So I do have other successful students, but the only one that's in the group that you guys can reach out to if I'm unavailable. And it doesn't mean she's any better than you or anything like that, okay? She's just a couple weeks ahead of you. You're probably going to be at those same numbers if you follow directions, okay? So now let's get to it. We got a time constraint here. We have to find a way to reach our leads, all right? Now I would never ever recommend doing things like cold DMs. No, that's the whole point of this strategy, right? Because we need to find a way to make leads. We want the good leads, right? So like insurance or something, we would buy leads. We would go to these companies and purchase names and numbers of people that went out and maybe they went to a website to inquire about health insurance rates. Okay, well, that's going to be a hot lead, right? That's an A lead, not a B lead. That's an A lead. Somebody who's online right now inquiring about rates. All right, so I can buy that information. That's going to be a hot lead. That's going to be our go-to choice. All right. Then there's going to be B leads, maybe somebody that looked at insurance last year or something, and we just still have their name and their phone number or whatever. All right, so we're not going to want to call and reach out to those people. Meanwhile, someone that just inquired about insurance rates last week, we're going to be right on the phone with that. That's not really a cold call, is it? Because that's somebody that's already in the market. Now, so let's do this. To be able to get our numbers, right? And I hope I don't shock you with this kind of numbers and stuff, but it does. But I promise, once I get through this, you're going to be like, oh, this is actually really simple. This isn't bad at all. This is nothing. All right. So I want you guys to imagine real quick. All right. We're 21, all 3 of us. We're 21. We're all in the bar. We're in college. All right. I'm the guy looking to score. I'm the guy that's going to come up to you girls, right? What is better? For me to walk right up to you oddly and you have your guard up and be like, hi, nice hair, right? Or would it be better for me to be at the bar, hey, sorry, am I in your way? Here, do you need a drink? Blah, blah, blah. I just accidentally met you, right? It's so much better. That's how I met my wife, okay? It's so much better to kind of like accidentally have this conversation, this organic, right? And so there's 2 ways we can do this, but there's only one way that goes through the numbers. And that's our game here in the beginning. We got to get through the numbers. This is a numbers game in the beginning, all right? We've got to get X amount of leads to be able to equal Y amount of sales. So in this first process, we are not going through and doing our research. We are not looking at their page. We are not looking at their store. We are doing nothing but getting through the numbers, okay? The easiest way to do that on a warm level of something we can relate and accidentally find ourselves in conversation with where that person's guard is down, right? We don't want the guy walking right up to us at the bar and catching us, with our guard up, like, what are you doing? Why would you come and talk to me? Like, whatever, right? You're short. Ew, get away from me. We would rather have a nice accidental warm entry, right? And the best way to do that, I have software that helps me reach out. So I'm not going to act like I have the best method because I do my own little way or whatever the case, but you can mimic. You don't have to purchase the software. I'm not going to sell you on the software because it's expensive, but we can mimic the software. Actually, we can do better than the software. And how we do that is by story replies. All right. That is the warmest way that you can enter in someone's conversation. And the fastest way to do that is to go to a page that has 3,000 to 30,000, or maybe 3,000 to 15,000, something like that. Those pages are perfect. You don't necessarily need the 500,000 page because they've got a lot of non-digital marketers. And our easiest sale, remember, is that UBC digital marketer. They've got an entry course. It's our easiest sale. Now, if we run across a brand new person, we're going to sell both at the same time. That's an upsell. We're going to say, hey, sorry, you got no choice. If you want to be successful in this business, you're going to have to drop 800 today. You can take a payment plan on one of them, whatever the case. But most of the time, our quickest, easiest sale is the digital marketer with an introductory course that still needs UBC. That's when it turned on for me. On week number 4, I got UBC. I made a $1,500 week that week. On week number 5, I hit my first $2,000 week, and I only had 480 followers. That's how strong of a close I was in sales with such a pathetic page at only 5 weeks. So starting at 5 weeks, I started projecting 6 figures this year. I've only dropped below $2,000 one time in the last 13 weeks. All right, so ever since week 5, I've continued on. And that was the week before last or last week that I dropped below, and I only made 1,800 that week. Okay, boo-hoo, no big deal, right? So what we do is we go to the 3,000 to the 30,000 page, and we are going through, we're looking at their recent posts, all right? And we're going to look down in the comments or the likes. That's the fastest way to go from story to story to story to story to story. And all we are doing, this is not cold DMing. All we are doing is finding anything that we relate to, like we regularly would on social media. Think of your personal page, and you run across somebody, and you just see their story, and you're like, "Oh my God, mountains! I'm in Appalachia. Where are you?" It doesn't matter what you say, just like the guy and the girl in the bar, as long as you talk, you say something.
But you're like, when you say like you're engaging with your stories, you're not just necessarily using like the interactive tools. You're like actually replying to their stories.
So that's what my software does. It only does the interaction, it slides or whatever,
Yeah.
and that brings me a lot of DMs back in return. So you can do that because a lot of digital marketers will then have an auto reply to they'll say, "Thanks for voting on my poll," or whatever, right? So guess what? Then that digital marketer sees that's their outreach on you. Their guard is down. They outreach to you because you interacted on their poll, so their guard is down. Now you're coming back, okay? So this is what makes it a better lead, right? It's not just a cold DM or the same old comment or how's your journey going? No. It's a warmer lead, and you made it a warm lead. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah.
You found a way to nudge your way in. Now, think about this again, the guy and the girl at the bar. Okay, we're talking. We're in a set, what we call a set, right? That means I'm talking, I'm trying to get somewhere, trying to get your number or whatever the case, trying to get some sort of contact. Your girls start pulling you away to go to the next bar. And I'm like, oh, wait, let's keep in touch, you know? What is better? If I shoot and I want contact information from you one way or another, what is better? If you give me your phone number or if you give me your socials?
That's,
Phone number.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, phone number's fine.
Right? That I'm in, right? That's the DM, right? You're already in. All like the song, it goes down in the DM, right? So
You're saying when they give the reply back, that's them giving like their phone number?
I'm saying the DM is analogous to the phone number rather than commenting or something like that. You're already in when you've got private communication, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
When you're interacting with their story, are you making a comment on their
No.
stories? So like you said, you see the mountains. Oh my God, do you like love to ski or like I've been there or whatever it
Yep.
is? Is that what you're?
That's exactly what you do. I don't care what it is. You find anything. Usually, sometimes you'll have to click through 1 or 2 stories or something or other real quick. Again, this is a numbers game in the beginning. This is the first part of sales. We've got to get through the numbers. So the fastest way to do that, without doing any research at all, we're going to the 3 to 30,000 page. We're going through the comments of their recent posts. And all digital marketers always have stories up, right? So the fastest thing to do is go through the comments and go story, 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 click, 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 click. You only click through 1 or 2 stories until you can find something to relate to. Oh, even if you want to make them think that you're considering their product, guess what that does? That drops their guard completely. And then you're like, wait a minute, I just noticed you don't have UBC. Why in the world do you not have UBC? Like, this is a genuine conversation in the backyard, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a really easy interactive way of opening that casual social media conversation. So you go through the stories very quickly, right? Don't spend time, don't worry, don't do anything. Just make any little phrase, comment, whatever to get in those DMs, because a story reply is the warmest possible way to communicate. When I, as a big page or bigger page that is overwhelmed with DMs, I don't have the time to even get to all my DMs. I don't. I never will. It's not possible anymore unless I get the mini chat or whatever the case. I do my best. So you know what I do? I cherry pick now. All right. And my best way of cherry picking is looking for anybody who actually is making some sort of genuine conversation or looking, I don't want the regular, oh, here, thanks for interest in da 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 da. Here, click here to learn more. Like, I don't care. Yes, you can sell those people, but when it comes time to cherry picking and you got too many DMs to work with, what do I look for? I look for genuine conversations, and I look for someone who actually reached out manually, organically, not their automated system or something like that. And when I see such and such replied to your story, I open it immediately because I can't wait to see what someone related to. Oh, you saw the Northern Lights last night? That's ridiculous. Where are you? West Virginia, blah, blah, blah. We opened a conversation. Our guard is down. We are talking about life. We're now becoming friends. This is social media, right? So what is the easiest and fastest way to get someone to like you? Elsa, go.
To relate to them on something.
Cool,
Like, make
that's
them
okay.
feel like I don't know, like that you have something in common and like can understand either where they're at or like share a common interest.
Yeah, that's okay. Rosie?
Okay.
To be friendly and get them to talk about themselves.
Not bad. Good technique. I give both of those answers about a 7.5. Not bad. You know what's better? You know what's simpler, easier? The easiest and fastest way to get someone to like you is to genuinely like them. All right? When you are a diehard fan of someone, look, I will walk right up to the biggest dude in the gym that is mean mugging me and thinks that he's, I'm sizing him up or whatever the case. I will walk right up to that big dude and be like, bro, it looks like you ate me, man. Like, yo, you look good. You know what I mean? Guess what that does? That makes the hard douchebag now turn friendly as can be because he knows I worship him, right? That is how to make a hater turn into a friend in seconds. All right.
So, you mentioned this before, and when you're talking to someone and you realize they don't have UBC, how do you approach that without just being like are you like, oh my God, I see that you don't even have UBC. Like, what are you doing? Like, that seems a little,
okay.
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to write that down because that's literally like next on the list, but I want to make sure we get through our thought here.
Yeah.
And if I don't write it down, I'll forget to keep track of things. All right, so we're going to get there in just a second. I want to finish with the leads real quick. So we are going through, we're going through the leads. We're doing now numerically. All right, remember X amount of leads to get Y amount of sales. Numerically, you need at least 50 story replies a day. Okay, I usually push my students to do more like 75, just to be safe, right? So even if you suck as a salesperson, you're not following my directions, you're not sending me your conversations, and 5 or 6 bail on you, 3 to 5 stop even replying, and 2 others buy from someone else or whatever, that's still going to result in 2 to 5 sales per week. All right, so if you're doing, and this really doesn't take long, guys. I know it seems like outreach or whatever the case, but I promise you it is not bad to bounce from story to story to story to story and just reply anything, okay? We are not doing research on this level. We are just getting through the numbers. It's a numbers game. Think the guy and the girl in the bar, right? Let's say me and my 21-year-old roommate are being pigs, we're being douchebags, and we are heading out to the bar. We want to see who can bring somebody back to party with us in the after party or whatever the case, right? Are we going to try to only talk to one girl and hope that she's going to be able to make it back? No, we're going to try to talk to any attractive girl throughout the whole bar, right? The more people we get through, the more likely we're going to find that person. Oh my gosh, yes, I'd love to come back with you, whatever, right? That's what happens here. The more people you get through, you're going to run across people. Like if I run across a veteran or something or other, I can close that in 10 minutes, okay? There's going to be people that you just vibe with and you are amazing with and that you are totally connected with and you can sell in seconds. Rosie, do you need a break?
No, sorry, I just heard my daughter, but I was just pointing at my husband to go get her.
Gotcha. So there's going to be people that you're going to get through and you're going to vibe with really quickly and stuff. That's the point of the numbers game. Now, when you're hitting 50 a day and you are getting through all these numbers and stuff, it's completely okay if 2 or 5 of them bail on you and buy from somebody else or whatever. It happens, okay? That's the point of the mathematics. We keep our numbers where they're at, understanding that some of those are going to fall off and bail on us, and we're still going to get our 2 to 5 each week. Okay, so this is a formula, right? Plug and chug. So in the beginning, you are just running through the stories really quickly. This should literally take you less than 45 minutes of work each day. Probably not even. You can run through and get 50 story replies relatively quickly just by that method. Story to story to story to story, really fast, okay? And we're not doing any research. Now, when they message you back, that is when we care. That is when, and I also say that you're on the clock, okay? Because now your reply time matters, okay? We're not going to buy from anybody that's inconsistent, remember, right? That's why we have to post all the time to social media. We don't buy from people that are inconsistent, right? If your stories aren't all the way up, if you're not replying to DMs for weeks at a time, nobody's gonna buy from that person. Once they reply back, you are on the clock. And so now you've already reached out to them, they reply back, they come in your primary folder, okay? Once they're in your primary folder, well, they already will be because you reached out to them, but they have to accept and then hit you back, and then you get the blue dot, right? They come back. Once they reply back, you're on the clock, so that's when you need to start being a little quicker with your responses with them, okay? In the beginning, before they've even replied back, you don't even care. If they don't message you back, then okay, you keep moving. Numbers game, right? We don't care. But once they reply back, now you're on the clock and they are on the board. Now, then is when we start our research. Then is when we go ahead and take the 2 seconds to click on their page. We look about at the page real quickly just to see how many followers and how many posts they have. All right. And that gives us an idea of about where they're at in their journey, about how successful they are or aren't. We read that bio, right? And we go ahead and click on their store and we look at their products. All right, because we tailor every conversation to that person. Do you know how many times I've started a conversation and they're like, oh, I'm brand new, blah, blah, blah. Well, I've already looked at their store. You know how many times I've started a conversation and been like, that's awesome, and your page looks great, your store looks great. Or I didn't say your store looks great, but I'll say your page looks great, you're off to a good start. Do you got everything you need? You got an intro, a step 2, and some PLR items? And they'll be like, wait, what do you mean step 2? Like, oh, you don't even have a step 2 yet? Oh, I hate to be the one to break it to you. You're going to need that here soon. It's okay to be where you're at, but you're going to need this soon, or whatever the case, right? So I've already looked at their store and I'm tailoring my pitch. I'm just making it casual, and I've already looked. I already know the answer that they don't have UBC, but I just primed the pump and now they're curious. They're like, oh, wait, I need these 3 things? Well, yeah, I have an intro course and I have PLRs. What are you talking about? The step 2, do I need that? Oh, all right. And I've closed a lot of sales that way. So we're tailoring our pitch based on what we see. Okay, so when you send me a conversation after this call, you're going to send me a quick screenshot of their page and you're going to tell me they have TMC and roadmap, whatever. And they're going to, I need to know about when they started, right? So you're just going to message me real quick about how the conversation's going, where it ended off, right? And where the last thing they said, or whatever the case, where you're trying to get, whatever, and say, hey, they started in January, and they only got roadmap. That's what I need to know to be able to answer that reply effectively, to know how to pitch that person. All right? Because it's a very different pitch if a person has 3,500 followers and they've been doing this since November than it is someone who started late January and only has, 400 followers or something, 600 followers, whatever the case, right? It's a different pitch. Okay, if you're going to try to sell somebody that's got 3,500 followers and has been doing this since November, you're going to have to come quite a bit stronger. They've got 25 different options that they're close friends with that they can buy UBC from. So you're going to have to come strong with either a deal right off the bat or my mentorship, right? And so what I allow you guys to do, since we're here, what I allow you guys to do just to hurry up and get a few sales right off the bat. Okay, this is not something that we're going to do all the time, but just to hurry up and get a few sales right off the bat. This is what I do for my students that have purchased my mentorship. I allow you to give away one or two people that you really like. Well, it doesn't matter if you like them or not. We're going to do this to close the sale. And so if you've got somebody that mentorship means a lot to them, sales training means a lot to them, and you're going to let them know that, listen, my mentor's got a big heart. This guy loves his students succeeding so much that he even allows me to give away his mentorship for free with your course purchase with me. Now, sometimes they reach out to me and confirm that that's true, and that's completely okay. That's a turnover. I close the sale for you, right? It's easy. We do this in the real sales world. We'll say, if I can't close you on this piece of jewelry in the mall or whatever, I'll be like, before they walk away, before it's done, I'd be like, hey, real quick before you go, why don't you meet my manager real quick? Bill, this is Bob. Bob, this is Bill. He loves this ring. He's unsure about it today. Hey, this is Bill's favorite ring in the store. He's going to cry when it's gone. He's got a little bit more discounting power than I do. I'm going to let you guys talk, right? And then I step away, right? That's called a turnover. Every sales manager in the world and every industry knows all about this. You turn that sale over to a more experienced salesperson. They close the deal for you. It's still your deal. Remember, the sales manager cares about the store, right? We care about the team's numbers. So it doesn't matter if it's your deal or Tommy's deal, whatever, it's still a sale for the store. So it's my job to close everything we can. All right. So sometimes we will do a turnover like that, or sometimes all it takes is a mention. Oh my gosh, this guy is amazing. Like, wait, seriously, he's built a family here. It's at Dream Life Creations. They'll come check out my page and they'll come right back to my student and buy. Like it works. There's something about the turnover, even in the digital world, it works. So sometimes we'll pull that card, but we'll burn that bridge when we get there. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of some of the things that we're doing. So first things first, though, let's get back on track. They have messaged you back and you are communicating with them still about small talk or whatever the case. Now, if you get, and this is what I recommend, it's very easy to get to the digital marketing conversation because most all conversations are very quickly, hey, how's your journey? How long have you been doing this? What products do you offer? The same stories, okay, the same questions. And that's okay. We don't mind that. So within just a few sentences, you're making small talk. You're not pitching right away. Oh, do you hear the difference between me saying, hey, I noticed you don't have UBC. Why would you not get UBC? It's the best seller. It's the step 2 course. It's the blah, da, 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 da. Exclamation point, emoji. Like, do you hear that versus something simple like, oh man, your store looks great. I just noticed. Why in the world did you decide against UBC? Done. Nothing more, right? Just a simple, easy question. You don't keep talking because then you're selling. So I love, what is it? Your audio's out.
Sorry, I was muted. So can you repeat it one more time? You said your store looks great, but I noticed you're like missing UBC.
No, not I noticed.
Really?
No, that comes that I'm telling you, the
Okay, sorry.
online listen, the online buyer today, the purchaser online today is so skeptical and
Okay.
so immediately turned off as soon as they hear the slightest sale. You cannot be like, you can't reword it. Oh, I noticed, or I must ask, why did, no, you can't say that. No. Real
So sorry,
simple.
what? Repeat it.
Okay,
What did you
okay.
say?
Your store looks absolutely great. Why in the world did you decide against UBC? You can say one more sentence if you want. You can say it's my best seller, or it's everyone's best seller. Why in the world did you decide against UBC? It's my best seller. It's my main moneymaker. What, you can say one more sentence, but nothing more.
Your store looks absolutely great. Why in the world did you decide against UBC?
Yep.
That's it?
It works
Okay.
so well because then they come back and they already are forward with you and they let you know exactly what the problem is and we know how to attack this. Because they're going
It
to,
is that.
a lot of times they're going to say, actually, I haven't decided against UBC. I just haven't really sat down to think about it yet. Or actually, I haven't decided against it. I just wanted to make sure I made my money back with my intro course. Or I'm just waiting on money, or whatever the case their objection is. Then we got something to work with. It's easy. Go ahead.
And are you doing this like, so you're doing your little small talk,
Yep.
and then are you going in with some sort of question before, or are you just like, we're talking about the mountains and then all of a sudden, like,
Sometimes it depends on the rapport.
Okay.
You get to decide what kind of vibe that you and this person have. You guys may really click right off the bat. You may have talked about 3 other things already. You may really click, and it may be a very easy. Think about this. This is a made-up story. I'm in my backyard. I was mowing when I made this story up. It made sense to me. And I'm like, okay, how can I explain how low key this interaction should go? I'm in my backyard. Okay, I've got a brand new Jeep that seems to have electronical problems. I have no idea what's wrong with it, but I'm done with it. I'm ready to trade in, and I don't care that I'm in negative equity. It doesn't matter. I'm ready for a new car, and I'm kind of kicking around the idea in the back of my head that maybe I should get a truck. I don't know, right? Maybe sick of SUVs. You don't know, right? Just like any other digital marketer has heard about UBC and they're kind of kicking it around, but like, I don't know, should I spend the money or whatever, right? I'm in my backyard mowing. I happen to run across my neighbor, right? Just like the guy and the girl at the bar. We accidentally meet. We accidentally start talking. My neighbor just happens to be outside at the same time as me. And he's looking at me like, hey, man, yeah, no, I noticed your Jeep was on the flatbed the other day. What's wrong with it? I don't know, whatever, man. Well, man, why in the world ain't you got a truck yet? You're 43. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of conversation that we're having. Like, dude, why don't you have UBC yet? It's my main moneymaker.
Right.
Like, that's how low-key and friendly we are being here. We are being really genuine. Genuine is what sells here. You cannot have the slightest pitch yet, okay? The only pitch time is at the closing table, and we're going to get there. We actually got to move because I want to stay on punctual time here. Well, actually, we're about on schedule. All right, so this is a very casual, easy conversation here. Why in the world don't you have UBC? Right? It opens the door. All right, now here is where we're now talking about UBC. We're now talking about, and this could be anything, okay? This could be TMC. Maybe they already have UBC, and you're asking, why in the world don't you have a introductory course, okay? Why in the world don't you have any PLR items? You know, you can use this interchangeably. It's fine. It works really well. But we're going to keep going with UBC because it's the greatest example, and that's our main money maker, legitimately. And so the person comes back and, you know, they says, oh, actually, I haven't decided against it. And what is that doing? That's them telling you that they are in their own head. They're subconsciously telling themselves that it is a consideration, right? When they say, I haven't really decided against it, right? That person just told themselves that it's a consideration for me to get UBC, right? So it's a little bit of psychology, but not bad. Nothing too crazy. We will get to the hypnotic language patterns and stuff a little bit later. I'll work with you guys individually on that. I don't want to bog down the call too much. But for right now, let's keep it simple. They're going to hit you back. Actually, I haven't decided against UBC. I just haven't really talked to anybody about it yet. I have heard some good things or whatever. Right. Well, boom. Now we've got a hot lead. Okay. So before we go any further, when you're talking to someone and they've come back and they're in your primary folder, I want you guys to utilize not only the 3 folders, primary, general, and your request folder, whatever the case. But if you notice, if you're in your DMs, you look at the top right corner and there's a little price tag thing or name tag thing in the top right corner. This is how you need to stay organized, okay? Because you're going to be going through 50 story replies a day, right? So now we're talking to someone and they just let us know that UBC is possibly on the horizon. Okay, they just let us know that they have not been against UBC, but they are trying to consider, whatever the problem is. Okay, so what I do is I use that little tag in the top right corner, and if it's somebody that I think I can close relatively soon in the next couple days or whatever the case, maybe our replies are several hours apart, I want to make sure I flag that DM, so I'm making sure I'm giving it attention. Okay, so I use the flag for someone that I think I can close soon. All right?
Right, the label.
Yeah.
Right? If it's a lead, if it's somebody that maybe they're just interested in SFBI sometime next week, or maybe they just like, yeah, in a couple weeks when I get paid or something or other, maybe I'll consider it or something. If it's just a kind of a warm lead, I'll put it as lead, right? You can connect lead. All right. If it is one of your students that has already purchased from you, you want to make sure you mark them as paid because they get your most attention, right? You don't want anybody talking bad about you. Oh, I bought from that person and they hardly even reply back to my DMs or whatever, right? Make sure you're marking it as paid so that and I usually put the paid and the people, my paying students, I put them in my general folder. I give that special attention and stuff. All right. Now, if it's somebody trying to sell you Bitcoin or some crap, then I've marked them as shipped because I don't ever want to open that DM again. I want to keep them as a follower and let them think that I'm going to be in contact with them about their Forex trading or whatever the case. I keep them as a follower and let them think that they're getting somewhere with me, but I mark it as shipped so that I never open that DM again. Those are just some little helpful tricks for you guys. All right, so the person hit us back and they said, actually, I haven't, decided against UBC. I just haven't really sat down and thought, I haven't had time. I'm working 2 jobs right now. Haven't had time to think about it, whatever the case. All right, so immediately that person gets flagged. All right, that's a hot lead. All right, so here is where we are in our nurturing phase, what they call nurturing, what I call helping. All right, because we are doing nothing but helping them. And so there's a little bit of sales here because we are talking about UBC. So they're going to ask you, well, what do you like about it? Okay. Now I'm going to let you guys know real quick, 70% of my sale is about this being a business decision. It is only 30 to 40% about UBC's content. Okay, you're going to sell more about this being a business decision than you will just on this being content, I promise. Because you have to teach people how to be a business owner here. You have to teach people how to be an entrepreneur. Majority of people here are not entrepreneurs. They do not have the right mindset. All right, so I sell UBC by letting them know that it's absolutely critical to success here. All right. So I start with, well, what do you like about UBC? Blah, 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 however the conversation goes. And you're starting to talk about UBC. Most of my pitch is about the business decision. Well, listen, this is the only step 2 course out there. It's the only course that's not regurgitated. All right. There's nothing else like it. It is a completely different animal. All right. Now, since 70% of our business is other digital marketers, you need something to sell them. Like you're going to be asking them, like, how are you surviving on only an introductory course? Don't you have a lot of digital marketers in your audience? You have to have something to sell them. So this is a business talk that we're having here. Like, listen, you absolutely need an intro course, a step 2, and some other blah, 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 right? And so when you're talking to that person, you're like, listen, this is 70% of your sales here. That's why you're only making $500 a month, because you only have something to sell 30% of your audience or less. My mentor only sells $1,500 a month in introductory courses and $10,000 a month in just UBC alone. Okay? You can use my numbers if you don't have your own. My mentor's only been doing this 3.5 months, and he sells 10 grand a month in UBC and only 1,500 in introductory courses. That's what a huge difference this is. You're talking 70 or 80% of your sales are to digital marketers. You teach them, right? This is helping. You're helping them, not selling. You've become friends. You've got a good, solid relationship. You've already complimented their hair and whatever. You got kids the same age, whatever. And you're like, listen, girl, I want to help you. Like, you need UBC because this is 70% of your business. I don't know how you're surviving. No wonder you're only doing $1,000 a month right now. Girl, let me help you. Seriously, it's not even about a sale. Even if you don't buy from me, my best suggestion is to get UBC, right? I say that to people. I say, even if you don't buy from me, that's the very best advice I could give you. Get real with them. All right,
so that kind of puts off the pressure of like you being their person almost. They get the option to either pick you or whatever, someone else.
And you're giving them real, raw, hard information. You're not sugarcoating crap.
Yeah. And
you're speaking from authority this way too, right? That's what they teach you. They want you to speak from authority. And this is because you know what you know what you know. You've got a mentor that has these exact numbers and has a model that works. So you know for sure the best thing they can do is get UBC, right? All right, so let's move on. We've got to keep going. This is 70% of your business, It's absolutely critical. 70, we're selling to digital marketers, okay? It's also the most viral thing. It's the easiest sale, okay? Nothing has ever sold at the rate that UBC sells at. So this is the fastest vehicle to success in MRR. And what happens once you have success in MRR? All those doors open, right? We've got to, if you want to be able to launch your own product on month 3, you've got to blow up month 1 and month 2. The fastest way to do that is with this one $500 purchase. And with your $500 purchase, you get this, this, and this, right? You get me, you get me, you get you.
Do we say the number, like how much it is, or with this purchase?
Well, no, you can. I mean, they're gonna know. I mean, but like sometimes they're gonna ask you much. If they're brand new to digital marketing, they may ask how much of the course is or whatever the case.
Yeah.
And
what do you say when it's like when people are like worried about money? They're like, how much is it?
Oh, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
We love money objections, by the way. That's our favorite objection. Okay. Yeah. You know why? Because that's the easiest one to fix. We got options. We got mad options when it's just money. What you don't want is that broad that's like, I don't align with UBC. The creators are nasty and they curse and yeah. Listen, I run a Christian page. If I can deal with UBC cursing, then you can deal with it, right? Like, first and foremost, guess what? I just because I have a product in my store that curses or something or other, doesn't mean that I need to throw it out the window and I can't make good business decisions. We're here to make a business decision first. So those are the people that get a little bit more difficult. We want the money objection, but we're going to get there. We're still in the nurturing phase. We're still teaching them about UBC. I want to make sure you guys understand how we talk about UBC, because first things first, this is the magical product to success in digital marketing. There is nothing. I don't even know that I would be successful. I mean, I'm sure I would, but like, I don't even know how it would look like if I never got UBC or if UBC never came out and we were still just pushing the same introductory courses. UBC came out and it was like this game changer, man. Like, and I was right prior to where you're at, Elsa. Like, I was right prior to that level. I was on week 4, week 5. And I was already getting it clicking. My page was at 480. So I'm like, I'm getting there, and then UBC, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, finally, I have something to offer all these other digital marketers in my audience. Nobody told me that I wasn't only going to be selling to brand new people, right? I thought when I came into digital marketing that I was only going to be selling to brand new people from the street. Nobody gave me that heads up. So guess what? You could be that person that runs across the person that's only on week 4 and they got just an introductory course, and you're the person to take them under your wing and tell them, listen, girl, I'm going to take you under my wing. Nobody gave me this heads up. Nobody taught me this. I didn't realize that 70+% of our business was with other digital marketers. You have to have something to sell digital marketers. In fact, your mentor probably should have done you a little bit better and sold you UBC instead of the mentorship or whatever. Right? Now, don't ever let them think they wasted their money or they're not going to be able to sell their intro course and they should have had UBC instead, right? Because guess what? When you have UBC, like I've taught you, you're going to sell more of your introductory course because you're going to sell them both at the same time. So let that person know, I don't care what course they have, if they got the digital Bible, it doesn't matter. Guess what? You're going to tell them they have one of the best courses for introductory courses there is. You got that person that is a fan of Simply Digital or whatever the crap, doesn't matter. You tell them, actually, you know what? That's really, in my opinion, one of the best introductory courses. You're still going to be able to sell that, but that's only an introductory course. You're still missing out on 70% of your business with other digital marketers. So you validate them instead of belittle them by their course purchase. You validate them, let them know you've got an amazing, oh, you know what? I have Roadmap also. I got more farther with Lipo Max, so I left it up and it's the legal rebrand, blah, blah, blah. Same thing. Or whatever the case, you know. Or, you know, you got the mentorship. Personally, I think the mentorship and UBC combined are the very best digital product suite that you can get. I really do, because the mentorship is cheap. And so that means you can sell it at the same time as UBC easier, right? Instead of $1,000, it's only $800. And the mentorship is an advanced step 1. I know they tried to market it as a step 2, but it's an advanced step 1. It's not just a plain regurgitation. So I genuinely think that the mentorship is the best step 1 and UBC by far, obviously the only step 2.
Why the heck does everyone have DWA?
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't matter. If they have DWA, guess what? You tell them that's the best introductory course you can get because it's a simplified version of Roadmap, right? You tell them that's the best you could get. I'm jealous, actually, you know, whatever, right? Like, you validate them by whatever their course purchase choice was. Doesn't matter. You validate.
Do you think I should? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I was gonna say, do you think that I should keep Roadmap in my store, like from business?
I probably would, because it validates you. You're going to run across people that love Roadmap. And when you say, I love Roadmap too, then you're going to be given some credit. And they're going to be like, well, this person also had Roadmap, sold it, and still bought some other course. Okay, well, maybe I should buy some. I think you should put it back up.
And Lipo is the rebranded version of that, huh?
Lipo is the legal rebrand of Roadmap. They are identical. Yes. So if you got a Roadmap fan, you can teach them, I love Roadmap. I chose Lipo because it's exactly Roadmap, but it's legal, unlike DWA. And so, but you just explain to them that you chose that one for the mentorship or something, right?
Got it.
So the person that you trusted with mentorship also had Roadmap and Lipo or whatever. I've even told someone before I fibbed. I told them I had both. I loved Roadmap so much, I even bought the legal rebrand, Lipo Max, right? So there has been a couple times that some weird things have come out of my mouth and I realized, that was kind of a lie. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it takes practice to not lie, right? So, and so, you know, it's okay. Whatever it is that they have, go with it, compliment it, validate it, let them know they're still going to sell it. Don't let them think that, oh, I wasted my money on this one. I should have gone with UBC. No. You need them both, all right? You're going to sell both. You're going to sell more of your Lipo Max when you get UBC. You're going to sell more of your DWA when you get UBC. You need them both. All right. But the fastest way to success is UBC alone. And use my numbers. My mentor sells less than $2,000 a month in introductory courses and around 10, 11 with UBC alone. Use my numbers. Okay, now, quickly, the other 30, 40% that we sell with UBC, the reason, what makes it different, okay? We've already talked about all the business decisions. I want to stay punctual. We got to speed up. We now need to talk about that other little portion of UBC, right? And so all you need to know about this other little portion is that it is the content portion of UBC. We already know it's not a regurgitation of all the intro courses. We already know it's a step 2. It is the latest in marketing data, the latest marketing rubric, exclusive, the latest marketing data to 2024, exclusive to online sales, specific to social media, right? It is teaching you the how to do this job. That's how you sell UBC. I came from medicine, right? So I tell my people that the introductory course is like your books and your college and your tests and your normal values and your math, all this stuff, right? That's your didactic education. That's what we call that. Didactic education. Your introductory course is your didactic education. UBC is how to do your job. That's your clinical education. Or if you're in trade school, if you're talking to a country guy or something or other, you're going to give a mechanic reference. You're going to say didactic education, your books and your classes of your introductory course. And then once you hit the garage, that's your clinical, your hands-on education, your how to do the job. Now you're working in the garage, working on those brakes or welding or whatever. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so it's kind of like you learn like what it is in the introductory course, and then you learn how to apply it.
Absolutely. Your introductory courses are your setup, your theory, just like didactic. That's your theory, your setup, your history, your digital marketing, all this other stuff that you really don't need. But it's your setup, DWA, especially if you got a graphic design artist or something on your hands, then they're going to love some DWA because that's all about the back end stuff. But so your introductory courses are just your setup and theory and your fundamentals, okay? UBC is your clinical education where you learn how to do this job because it's the latest marketing data to 2024, exclusive to online sales and specific to social media. It teaches you how to sell and how to market and how to brand and how to actually do the job and make money. Not just how to start digital marketing, how to make money. That's what we care about. And so you sell it that way, I promise you. You frame it. That's called spatial reasoning. You frame it that way, a frame of reference, and relate that to college and such, just like we constantly do with digital marketing. All right.
Hey, I hate to cut you short, but I have to go.
We're really okay. What I'll do this. Okay, so don't worry. I recorded this one. Okay. So we're right at the closing table now. So this is great. You're gonna want to come back and watch this.
To my open house already.
No worries. It's okay.
Can you just send me the recording at the end?
I'm gonna send you the link. Yes.
The link.
Yeah. Because it's gonna take a couple hours to upload to YouTube. I'll get it to you by tonight. I promise.
Okay, I appreciate it.
No
Thank
problem.
you so much.
No problem.
I look forward to
Sorry we ran over. We're right there though.
I know, we're so close. It's okay.
Nice.
Nice
Good
to
luck
meet
with
you.
your open house. Nice
I'll go follow
meeting you,
you
Elsa.
on social media.
Yeah, I'll follow you right back.
No worries. Have a great day, Elsa. Good luck on the open
Bye.
house.
Thank you. You guys
All right.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Elsa.
All right. So we are. Whoa. Did I lose you both? There you are.
No, I'm here.
I'm like, wait, did I lose you both? All right. Let me restructure this camera here. It shows you a little odd. Why is that like that?
I just look odd.
No. Shut up. You look fine. But it went from like multi-screen to like now you're giant and now it shows like a shadow. So I'm just going to readjust my camera here. Sorry, anybody watching this recording. There, if I just angle it correctly. All right, well, maybe if I bring it down. There we go. That's the trick. Yay! All right, you're my model for right now.
Oh, hello.
All right. Okay, so we will continue on. you're selling this 60-70% with business decision and 30-40% of the content that we just talked about. Okay, so this is the clinical education. All right, and so now you keep going back and forth. You are not trying to close during any of this conversation. This is matter of fact only. All right, man, this is really the how to do your job. It's amazing. Blah blah blah. Stop. You do not say another word, right? You just leave it as matter of fact. You're not adding emojis and exclamation points and all this stupid crap. This is a genuine conversation, matter of fact. You know what you know what you know. So you are not.
But that's how I talk, is with emojis.
This is not the sales process online is really not a place for any more than, you know, an occasional one emoji. I mean, one. I'm not kidding. It comes across so salesy. It comes across so salesy. I promise. I would keep it very serious because you know this is business here at this point. And you know you throw those emojis in, and it's so cheesy, impersonal. It doesn't work. It's not the lick. All right, so let's get somewhere. All right, so what we're waiting on when we're going back and forth here, we're communicating about UBC and how amazing it is, what it does for your sales, what it did for your business, your growth, right? Some people really care about Instagram growth. They want every little thing that's going to teach them about it. They think that Instagram growth is the answer to their sales, and that's simply incorrect. Remember, I sold $2,000 a week with only 480 followers. So you got to correct people and let them realize that their problem is not Instagram growth. Their problem is sales, and that you are here to help them with, because now you are armed with information to mentor and help them with sales. And you're going to see here in about a week, after we've gone through some things, your confidence level is going to go through the roof. Your husband's going to be very happy with me, and he's going to DM me himself. I had a husband tell his wife that if they ever had a kid, they're going to name it Tim.
I think I saw that.
It's hilarious. I've never had someone tell me that before, so it's pretty funny. All right, so what we're waiting for is that person to say something back, like, you know, that sounds great. Sounds like UBC is my next move. Or I hear a lot, yeah, it's next on my list, you know, as soon as I get money or whatever the case, right? Or, wow, you really taught me something today. Like, okay, whenever I'm ready, I'll definitely reach back out to you. Okay, we're looking for any kind of hint that that person is now sold on UBC, one way or another. Doesn't mean they're saying I'm going to buy today or nothing like that. We're just waiting on them to be like, wow, you know what? This sounds legit. Everything you're saying is true. Like, I must admit, sounds like that's my next move, right? That's what they're going to say. Boom. Now we're at the closing table. All right. So let's start with, let's do our favorite. Let's do some money objections. I love money objections. All right. So we're going to run through this real quick. Let's knock it out. So they say, you know, man, that sounds great. UBC sounds like my next move. Okay, well, that's vague, but we know that that's possible to close now, right? So we got to throw a Hail Mary. We got to find out exactly how warm this is. All right, so we're going to throw a Hail Mary and say, this is my favorite line. Well, as you know, there's no time expiration on this purchase, right? It's not like it's for sale or anything, right? As you know, there's no real time expiration on the purchase, but it's completely viral. And it's an easy sale. So the longer you wait, the more money you're leaving on the table. Less. What?
Sorry, go ahead. Oh no, I'm trying to write it out as you talk it, and I lost track.
Okay, so as you know, there's no real time expiration on this purchase.
Yeah.
There's no real time expiration on this. You can just say this. There's no real time expiration on this. Make it casual, real simple.
Yeah.
No real time expiration on this, but the longer you wait, the more money you're leaving on the table. And so then we give a simple line here at the end. Let's just get you started today and get you making money. No emojis, no exclamation point.
Let's just get you started today and making money.
And get you making money. Let's get you making money. Let's just get this started. It's a real simple Hail Mary. Let's find out how warm they are.
Okay.
All right. And so what do we do? That we just made an offer, right? That's an offer.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
You're asking me?
Yep.
We wait for them to respond?
Okay. Anything else? Trick question.
Well, I would say like leave it in their court.
Not bad. Not bad.
Because like wait for them to kind of like process it and make the decision themselves that this is what they want.
What if they leave you on red?
Then give them some time.
All right. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. The answer in short, when we make an offer and we put that ball in their court and just made an offer, what we do is we shut up.
Okay. I think that's right.
Yes, you were right. Good, good, good. You shut up. The first person that speaks loses.
Okay.
Right? Because if you say something else, now that person doesn't even have to respond to your offer. They can ignore it and they'll start talking about whatever else you talked about. You just pushed them away.
And then you also seem like desperate, I feel like, when you...
Yeah. So even if they leave you, and I tell people, if they just completely leave you on red at any part of this process, you're going to wait a good solid 24 to 48 hours. And then I recommend going right back to square one and doing a story reply. Again, that's the way to sneak in that DM. Hey, I'm still here, still supporting you. I'm commenting on your reels. I'm story reply. We're still best friends. Whatever, right?
Okay.
All right. So now they hit you back. Let's say they hit you back. That sounds great, Rosie, and this does sound like the next move, but that's $500. That's expensive. We got a money objection. What is the first thing we do with an objection? Very first thing, we just spit out, that sounds great, Rosie, but that's still $500. That's expensive. What's the first thing we do?
Say acknowledge it. Be like, yeah, I totally understand it. Totally
Close.
understand. Like I was in the same boat.
Okay,
You have to
close.
invest, in yourself.
You're really close. You're really close. That's not bad, and sometimes you can pull that off just fine.
Yeah.
But there's a better way to disarm them completely, because right now they have a reason. Wait, we're not there yet. That's not the answer. That's the theory, but it's not really the answer.
Okay.
They have a reason, and that reason is money objection, any objection. And so what they can do with an objection is they can take it and run with it. They never have to talk to you again when they have an objection, right? They can just say, you know what, that's too expensive. Thanks for your time, right? Well, they come to you armed with that objection sometimes, okay?
Yeah.
So we need to make sure, no matter what the objection is, that we disarm immediately. And the only real way to do that is not by sympathizing, not by relating, but by agreeing. We have to agree.
Okay.
So we got this money objection. Man, Rosie, that's $500. That's expensive. All right. So you're like, I know, I agree. I know. Inflation has gotten out of control. These courses are expensive. Now we've disarmed them, and now we have the ability to breadcrumb them and steer them and lead them back to where we want them to be and fix the objection. We can overcome the objection. You can't just fire back, immediately. Oh, well, that's why we have payment plans. No. That's not going to work. You have to agree first, be back in on their side. Then you can get somewhere. I agree, inflation is out of control. Or I know. I agree, I know. Both of them, right? I was trading in a car one time, and he was only going to give me like $5,000 for the car. And I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? They're selling for like $12,000 online right now. I'm like, you guys can at least show me 8. You know what I mean? And I was like, $5,000 is ridiculous. You know what the guy did? He just sat there with his arms closed. I know. He agreed with me over and over and over again. I know. You know what happened after 10 minutes of him saying, I know? I folded. So, all right. So you agree, and then we can breadcrumb. So I agree. And not I understand. No. I agree. All right. I agree. I know inflation is out of control. These courses are expensive, but you'll be really happy that they're the price they are when you're selling them, right? This is why I don't love selling my little $300 courses, because I want the money. I like the big sales. High ticket's where the money's at. It's the same amount of time, and just so you know, this is not part of your script or anything. Just so you know, it's the exact same time, skill, and energy to sell a $500 product here as it is a $100 product. I promise you. Same time and skill, same energy. And so sometimes you have to teach your clients that. They say, well, I don't want a $500 course. Listen, Rosie, I understand. I get it. I agree. But trust me, it's the exact same time and energy to sell this as it is your other course. I promise. So why sell yourself short, right? All right. So we're at agreeing. We are agreeing. So we agree and we breadcrumb. So there's a couple different ways. That's one way we breadcrumb. We say, well, you'll be happy it's 500 when you're selling it. Well, that's fine. That's not really perfect for many scenarios. A better way is to go ahead and mention that payment plan. So I agree, inflation's out of control. The courses are pretty expensive, but that is why I went ahead and developed the payment plan, because I want to help my students out as much as possible. It's interest free, and the payments are only $167. That's much better, right? That's much better, right? That's what we're saying. Isn't it so much easier to get someone to agree with us that that's much better than it is to commit to a sale or whatever, right? So the more yeses we get out of them just out of agreement, the more they're closing themselves, right? They're continuing to say yes, yes, yes. So that's much better, right? 167, that's much better, right? Yeah, that is much better. What happens? Well, let's say we still get an objection. We get that broke person. Okay, that happens sometimes. It happens all the time. We got a person. Well, that's great, Rosie. That 167 is much better, but that's still 167. Like It's Monday. I don't get paid till Friday. All right. So let's stop here for a second before we go on. As a general rule in this business, online sales in this industry, you know that show 48 Hours? You don't know that show? Oh my gosh.
No.
So there's a show 48 Hours about murders, right? And if they don't find the body, if a missing person, right? If they don't find something within 48 hours, the chances of that person being alive is near none. All right? We got a missing toddler. If we don't find you within 48 hours, the chances of him being alive is like 5%. That's the sale here. If their payday is within 48 hours, that's fine. If it's Wednesday and they say they get paid Friday, then you stay present on their page. You continue to agree with them in every little way. You love them to death. You comment on all their posts, blah, 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 blah. Reply to their stories in the next 2 days. And then on Friday, you kind of stay a little silent. You wait on them, just like a date, right? You met the guy at the bar and he said he's going to call you on Friday. You're waiting on that call. You don't call him first, right? You wait it out. We try.
So are you not messaging them this whole time?
No, up until Friday, you stay present. Okay. You comment. You do everything, and then on Friday, if they're in the same time zone as you, now it's 4 p.m. or something. You still haven't heard from them. We'll sneak back in with a story reply or whatever the case. But the point is, if it's only 48 hours away, then we're going to trust them that this is still a sale. But if it's only Monday, and the person doesn't get paid till Friday, and they're acting like 167 is still a little much out of pocket today, then we need to close them today. All right? Because that's over 48 hours before they get paid again. And guess what? This isn't an impulse buy necessarily, but when you get a person to that level and you've worked with them that much and now they're hot, now they're ready to buy, but there's a little bit of conflict still, then you need to take it while you can, because they will change their mind after 48 hours.
Okay, wait. So on the Friday, you're trying to get them to buy before the Friday, or on the Friday?
We're going to close them today. We're going to try to close them today.
Oh, okay.
We're going to try to get it done today while they're hot. Okay, so their objection was that's still 160. I understand, Rosie, and that is much better, but that's still 167 out of pocket today, and I don't get paid till Friday.
Okay.
All right, so that's another objection. That's a money objection, and we know it's over 48 hours. So we're going to continue on with our process, They just gave us another money objection. What do we do? What do we do now?
Agree.
Hey! All right. Now, we're out of things though, aren't we? The only thing we can agree to is that it is still 167 out of pocket. So, but you'll be surprised how this actually works. I agree that is still 167 out of pocket. I understand. I've been there myself. So we first agree, then we relate, make them not feel bad. That was me before I started digital marketing. Now I have more money, right? So like I agree that is still 167 out of pocket. I've been there myself. I get it. Now, what we're going to do in this situation, I'm sure you would agree. Rosie, would you rather take home $400 today or would you rather take $0 today?
400.
All right. So you are going to go to their store and you are going to hope for something around the price of $67 up to $99. Never, ever, ever have I ever gone above $99, $100. You're going to pick out something on their store that hopefully you could use, but if not, it is what it is. Who cares? It doesn't matter if you never use it. I've bought, you know what I've bought before? I bought Inner Bloom just to close a sale.
Okay.
I bought a women's only course just to close a sale, okay? Because it got me the sale. A true salesman will close anything that they can. Even if it means coughing up a little bit of my commission, I'm going to close that sale. All right. I want 400, not 0. All right. So, so how we word that is, I agree that is still 167 out of pocket today. And I get it. I was there myself before I started digital marketing. Trust me, it's not embarrassing at all. Like I was there myself. But I really like you. You're going to make a great addition to this family. Here's what I can do for you today, right? We put a time limit on it. Remember in the beginning, scarcity, urgency, value. Here's what I can do for you today. I actually really like the XYZ product in your store for $67. I'm going to go ahead and buy that from you as well to offset the expense for the amount of out of pocket today. That's the way you word that. I'm going to go ahead and buy that from you too, to offset the expense and support you as well, so that it's only the 100 out of pocket. That's much better, right? That's how you finish.
Say that again?
Yes, that's how you finish it. That's much better, right?
Even if you said that before?
Well, you can reword it slightly, like, that's much easier, right? Or whatever the case.
Okay.
You can reword it slightly, but the point is still a really off-the-cuff agreement question.
Okay.
Most of the time, I would say 65% of the time, that person will then immediately hit you back and be like, well, that's really generous of you, actually. I can't believe you'd do that for me. Thank you. Okay, all right, send me the link. Let's go ahead. You can assume the sale. If they even agree, assume the sale and send them the link. You don't have to wait for them to be like, okay, yes, I confirm. That would be a perfect deal. No. Just, if they even agree, okay, that is better. Great. Here's the link. You'll need my full name when you da-da-da-da-da. You'll have to forward the email, but assume the sale. Here's the link. Send them the link. Okay? Now.
So sorry. Say that again. Like you send the link to UBC?
No. You're going to make it easy to your client. You always send them the direct link to the purchase, to the UBC page that they're buying from your store. You make it easy. Okay. You don't want them to go searching on your store and get mixed up for something again. You want to make it so.
If they agree that it's better, then you just send them the UBC. Like
if they say something like, yeah, that's much better. I appreciate it. Even if they just say that's it. They don't even confirm anything else. Yeah, that's better. Whatever. You say, great, here's the link. You'll need to forward my receipt to UBC, blah, 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 whatever you would normally say after you close the sale, right?
Okay.
I usually say you'll need my legal name, Tim Crowder, da-da-da-da-da. All right? And so 65% of the time when you spend out of your own commission like that. Now, the reason that we want to purchase something from their store and not offering them a Venmo or a PayPal is because then it's more legal. It's a separate purchase that we're doing instead of a kickback. B, because then we can write it off for our business, right? We have a business. We just purchased something for our business. We can write it off now.
Right.
So you always shoot to try to buy something from their store. All right, now what happens? Okay, well, Rosie, look, this is embarrassing. But I mean, that's still $100 out of pocket if you bought the $67 product from me. And quite honestly, I mean, that would just be a little irresponsible for me. You know, again, I don't get paid till Friday. Now, if they're really willing to talk to you this far, then there is still a chance that they are going to wait until Friday and they'll buy, and you can go ahead and trust them, and you can stop there if you want to. If you really believe them, you can stop there. If you have any doubts, or you think that if you could just go a little bit further, maybe they also have a $99 product, you can try one more time. So let's run through this real quick. Rosie, this is embarrassing, but that's still $100 out of pocket. I feel like, I don't know, that would leave my week a little tight for lunches and stuff, gas and everything. You can hit them back one more time. What do we first do? Agree. And you're going to be like, look, I understand. I get it. I agree. That is still $100 out of pocket today. Could I make it any easier on you? Maybe if I bought the $99 product from your store? Could I go ahead and really help you out? Could I make it even easier for you so that it's, you know, and just leave that as a question. Don't try to pitch again with, that's even better, right? No. Just leave it as a question. Could I make this any easier? You know, now I'm only going to do this today, but you know, I know this is the right move for you, right? I know this is the right move for you. You'll sell it within a week anyway. Could I make this any easier for you and go ahead and get that $99 product? All right, so now it's only $67 out of pocket. Almost nobody is that broke if they're in digital marketing. I mean, I hope not. I mean, some people might be, but you get my point, right? So we're still going to try at least. We're going to try.
How does it work if it's like someone who's brand new? Because most of the people who buy from me, it's like they're brand new.
Brand new, like don't have any courses?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're selling introductory courses, or you're selling UBC as your introductory course? And they
well, I guess this is more like when I was selling Simply Passive. And like people now who, like my current leads are all people who don't have any, or like they're not in digital marketing yet.
Huh. All right. That makes me wonder how you're getting your leads then, because everything I'm doing it's always digital marketers. I rarely run across brand new people.
I don't know. I have like 3 people right now that I'm talking to that aren't.
And they can't even. So we're running through this example, and we offered the $67 product, and that's $100 out of pocket for them, and that's still too much for them. Then,
or even if we haven't done like because I don't have, like, they wouldn't have products for me to buy from their store.
Right. So in that case, you know, you could offer, well, you just now got experienced with PayPal. Most of the so in that case you offer a Zelle or the PayPal or whatever the case. You don't have to worry about people like tattletaling on you if they're brand new, especially because they don't even know any better. It's only digital marketers that know that you're not allowed to do that. So if it's someone brand new, you definitely do not have to worry about them going and telling UBC that you offered a kickback or something. You don't have to worry about that at all.
Okay, but even like once they get into the course and they like understand that you're not supposed to do that.
Well, you always leave that part. If you're going to go and offer a cash rebate, you want to be personal with them and be like, listen, I understand. You're going to do that voice memo. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Voice memo, and after the sale's closed or after whatever, you can delete your own deal, right? So now the sale's closed, they bought UBC, you go back and you delete that voice memo just to cover your tracks.
Okay.
The chances of them screen recording and recording your voice memo and still having it, you know what I mean, 2 weeks later when they get in UBC and find out that's wrong, when you just helped them out, the chances of that turning into, that's not going to happen.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So most of the time you go through those steps and it works right now. So sometimes you get a instead of a money objection, you're going to get a principality. All right. Well, I bought Roadmap, and I don't think I need another course unless I get my money back. If I can't sell Roadmap once, then I don't think I'm going to buy another course. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
You have to teach them. Say, listen. I agree. I was the same way. I was sold into this industry thinking that I was only selling to beginners, right? You have the very best introductory course, but that is only catering to 25% of your audience, brand new digital marketers. I'm not saying you have the wrong course or anything. I'm just saying you have a harder starting point to make success if you want to be stubborn about having, you know what I mean? If you want to, be under a principle of making your money back first or whatever, then's when UBC, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get off the ground with UBC. So you can still negate that objection. You can still agree to it and then breadcrumb around to how to be a business owner here. Okay, now if they're still stubborn like that about making their first sale with Roadmap, and they're even on a payment plan, listen, I have sold someone that was stubborn about that. They were still on the payment plan for DWA. They haven't even gotten DWA yet to be able to sell because they were on that kind of payment plan. I still sold them UBC on another payment plan because UBC comes into them today. They can get it today, no matter which type of payment plan they're on. Now, it's a risk. I may only get the 160 whatever. I may only get I've got a payment of 4 payment plans or something, so I may only get they may stop paying or whatever the case. But we still try to close everything, okay? Even if worst case scenario they stop paying and we never get any more than that 167 or they're out of the country and they have to do a different type of payment plan, right? Yeah. They're on the stand store payment plan where we only get per payment. Then there's a risk that we only get that 167, right? But guess what? If we don't close them when we can, then that's a zero. So yes, they just got the course for only $167 and they're in this situation. We only get paid 167 or whatever the case, but that's all we could do with that one. We have to take it. We have to roll with the punches. It sucks. It's only happened to me one time. But it has happened to me once where someone didn't pay any more payments. Their card got declined and they messaged me like I couldn't make my other payment, I just hit them up. I'm like, let's get you in some sales training right away. Let's see if we can turn this ship around. And so let's work together a little bit more. You try a little bit more, but sometimes it doesn't work out. It is what it is. Sometimes it is. So you look back at that. Remember, it takes the same time, skill, and energy to sell the $100 product as it does the $500 product. So you you pretend to yourself that you only sold an SFBI or something. All right, well, whatever. At least I got 167 out of it, right?
Oh, totally, yeah. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes it happens. It's not very often, but sometimes it does happen. General techniques, 48 hours. That's it. We've got it. We actually did it. I'm like, go ahead.
Can you talk more about like upselling, like how, because for all these people, for example, that don't have courses yet, I like really struggle with understanding like which course to give them, and then I feel like I just word vomit and like overload them with information.
A lot of people, a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of people say that. I never do any more than, when you're talking to these brand new people, that's when you really got to keep it even shorter, right? So no more than like 3 messages at a time without them reading and responding, right? Again, just like dating, right? You got the guy's number at the bar, whatever the case, you're not going to send him 12 messages waiting on him to reply, right? You're not going to send him long novels either, are you, right? No. You're going to give him the answers to his questions, but you're not going to overdo it. And another thing is like the voice memo versus text. You got to use both, okay? You want to be personal and build trust by being a likable person and get on that voice memo. But at the same time, you can't do only voice memos. Even if they are only doing voice memos, you can't only do voice memos because you guys both need to keep track of the conversation. This could turn into one of those sales that take a week, and you come back to look at that. You don't have time to go and listen to all your own voice memos again just to find out where you left off. Okay?
Yeah.
So every third or so, leave a text paragraph so that you know where you're at. So that you
How
can.
would you start someone who's new to digital marketing? What would be like the starting conversation with them?
So, so let's talk about TikTok leads because they're all brand new. All right.
I don't have TikTok.
Well, you're missing out.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that because I'm wildly successful on TikTok, but I
Yeah.
can say this. It takes very little talent on TikTok. I have 5 posts. I've made just the right few comments on other digital marketers' comments. Like one of the best moves I made was getting on this guy's page where he's like, do not get into digital marketing. Do not, blah, blah, blah. And I commented the top comment or whatever effortlessly, like, me sitting here making 10 grand a month in digital marketing effortlessly or whatever, right? So, it's got like 90 likes or something or other, and at least 50 people actually DM'd me and commented on that. Hey, can you teach me? Blah, 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 blah. Like people just reaching out. So don't get me wrong, there's a lot of time wasters on TikTok. Time wasters, absolutely. But they'll click on that comment or whatever, they'll go to your page, they see a pathetic 4 or 5 videos up, 100 followers is when I started making sales on TikTok. And you keep it simple. Remember, simple sells. All right, so in the beginning, we are keeping this very simple. So if they just first reach out to me or whatever, again, it's very simple. Hey, how long have you been watching digital marketing? Have you been watching for a while? It's probably easier than you think. That's it. That's all I'll say. Once they've hit me back, then when I give them a simplified version of what we do. Well, basically all we do is we find the best selling digital products. Right now you can get by with only purchasing one, right? But we find the best selling digital products. We buy them one time. And this is how you're teaching them that there is an expense up front, because you're telling them that we do buy the product one time and then we resell it over and over again, 100% profit. All right. So, it's a real simple, right? We're not even talking about niche and which product and courses. No, we're not talking about any of that. All I do is buy the best selling digital products that are already created. And I buy them once and I resell them over and over again. It's so simple. And then when we start talking back and forth, now I've given them some information, then you get a little deeper. You're like, well, so it just so happens that the top paying niche in digital marketing is the make money online niche, the wealth niche, and it just so happens the top selling product is a education on more about digital marketing from A to Z. All right, so if someone is only going to buy one product, they can only afford one, you already know they can only afford one product. They're brand new into digital marketing. You're not going to be able to sell them on, they're not a entrepreneur. It's a kid. He's 18. And you can only sell them one product. Then you want to sell them the best selling product. Okay, you're going to go ahead and go for that UBC. Unless they are a graphic design artist and they love building websites and funnels and they're interested in stuff like that or whatever the case, then you can sell them an intro course. Sure, you can. Sell them whatever you can. Sell them whatever you want. But you do not want to be talking about multiple products. You want to find out what their need is and say the best one for you is XYZ, and then do not ever talk about another product again. You have to narrow it down to one. You know a trick we did on the car lot, right? Let's say you're on the car lot looking at Nissan Sentra, whatever, right? And you're on a row of Nissan Sentras. Every color, everyone. You just test drove 2 of them. One's got maxed out everything. One doesn't. One's the right color that you want. Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. So you're in a row of Nissan Sentras, right? There's 50 of them or 20 of them, whatever. and you just got back from the test drive or whatever the case, you know what the salesman will do? He'll make sure he either keeps that car out, the one that you like the most, he keeps it out in the row. He doesn't repark, or if he does repark it in the same spot of all the line of Nissan Sentras, you know what he does? He keeps that one about 4 feet out. It's stuck out from all the rest, right? You got to make sure you're narrowing them down to one product. All right, so
and
go ahead.
Is there a way to backtrack from that?
So, that's a good question.
I mean, I know for like moving forward now, but
yeah, you go talking multiple courses, and so yeah, that's a good way to run your customer off.
Yeah.
You know, I would say as long as the person is still in contact with you, as long as you guys are still communicating, then it's absolutely possible. You just really need to drive home. And what I do for things like that, so I got really smart. Okay, so you know how we're supposed to do carousels every now and then and stuff, right? And so I did, and of course we have our engagement groups kind of thing, right? You got your own friends that are going to comment on your every little, thing. And so what I did is I made a carousel, and I did it specifically about UBC. I said, oh, it's so cute, the little whisper. Here's what I did. I did a carousel specifically about UBC. The first slide was why having UBC is absolutely critical to success here. And so the next slide was, all the facts, the way I sell it, right? 70% of your business. The next slide, this is the how to do the job. This is your clinical education. The next slide. And when you get UBC, you get me as a mentor, right? Well, then all of my students then go and commented on that slide. So what does that one post do? It not only goes over the big, broad facts about UBC and sells UBC, but then in the comments are all my students saying, wow, you really are the perfect mentor for this. I'm so glad I got UBC from you, So that makes the perfect post to send to someone who is now on the fence, or maybe they've ghosted you, maybe they're not communicating with you, and you need something random to hit them up with. You've now decided UBC is the best option for them or whatever. I will send them my own post and say, just so you know, this is the family you'll be a part of. Look at these comments. This is completely organic. And not only do they look at the post and they resell themselves on UBC, but then they read the comments and they're like, oh my gosh, everybody loves this guy. It's amazing. It works so well. So I highly recommend doing something like that. All right. One last trick. So since
you haven't really talked about how to like upsell. If like you say that TMC and UBC go really well together. But like, how do you, if you're always talking about UBC, when do you do the TMC UBC upsell?
Okay, so if you've got somebody that probably doesn't necessarily have financial constraints, right? You were pretty open with me when we talked about this. You're like, no, I don't need a payment plan, right? So I wasn't concerned about your every little penny, thinking that you could only swing one course or my minimal 1 hour of training or whatever the case, right? So if you've got somebody that is interested in digital marketing and they're actually taking this seriously, they're asking you about starting an LLC or whatever, they're ready to start a business. Those are the people that you sell both at once. You do not give them a choice, okay? You say, listen, okay, you can start this for as little as $300, but you're not going to make the numbers that digital marketers make that you want to make, okay? Myself and my mentor only sell about $1,500 of the introductory courses. You're not going to be, so you can, you can teach them, you can theoretically start this for as little as $300, but if I'm doing you a service, I'm going to teach you right from the beginning, you must have these two products to be able to be successful here. And when you buy both of those products, I throw in my PLR project for you for free, or I'll give you my SFBI for free. That way you have all three elements. You need an introductory course, you need a step 2, and you need something for background sales and to close sales for free. You teach everyone that you need those three things. You're muted again. You're muted.
Sorry, it's because there's a lot of background noise now. Kids are awake from a nap. But if someone can only buy one course, you would only sell them UPC.
If you're selling them on the idea that they are getting the best selling product, then you're going to need to sell them UBC. If your sales with that particular individual was really about the complete startup and stuff, getting to know the websites and the funnel building and everything, then it's your call. And here's why I love that $300 course. I'm telling you, if someone can only buy one and they're looking to set up their funnels and stuff like that, what most people do when you sell two at the same time, and this is what Drew did like 48 hours after I taught her this. She went and sold two at the same time immediately. And so what I would do personally is what most everyone does is they'll buy one and then they'll put the other on the payment plan. So if you buy TMC and you put UBC on the payment plan, that's still less than $500 out of pocket. That's $470 or whatever the case, right? $467. They do technically have the option to put both of them on the payment plan, right? Don't you have a payment plan for TMC also? So they technically could still buy both for only a couple $100.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to still try both.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that makes sense. And sorry, what was the last trick?
Well, say again.
I interrupted your last trick.
Oh, okay. So I was just going to let you know, since we were on the topic of engagement groups, as you know, you probably already know that an engagement group, by sending your reel to the group for them to comment on or whatever the case, you don't want to do it that way, right? Because the Instagram sees that you are trying to trick the algorithms. It's smart enough to see that your people from the group are going directly to your reel that you posted in the group, right? So that means they're not organically seeing it in their feed, right?
Okay.
That's where the engagement counts, when it's seen in your feed. So what you want to do, instead of sending your reel to the group, you want to have your group all add everyone to their favorites, okay? You're going to, and that's on the following button. So you click following and then under add to favorites. That means that their posts will show up first in your feed and your posts will show up first in their feed. So that means they organically interact every single time they look at they go for a scroll, right?
Okay.
Now, the trick here is not only that, but what I want you to do is I want you to go to the 500,000 pages.
Which 500,000 pages?
Oh,
just like any. I see.
Chelsea the affiliate or Caroline Haney. Right, any of the big pages. Add those people to your favorites too. Why would we do that? Why would we want them to show up first in our feeds?
It trains the algorithm? Or when you comment on them, then other people see your comments
Ooh. If you're lucky enough to be one of those first people to comment, and you can come up with something witty or relatable or whatever the case, and your comment is the one that gets 200 or 400 likes, guess what? Guess how much money I've made from 2 comments? 2 comments. Just 2. One on 2 different pages. $6,000 from 2 comments. Well-placed comments, all right?
Okay.
So, Sean Sarantos, you know that guy? He never says a word. He's a original legendary dude. Never says a word in his reels. He never talks about digital marketing. All he does is make corny little jokes about his wife or whatever, or his kids.
Okay.
He's got like 600,000 followers. And he posted one time about being a veteran. And I said, bro, like, I thought I was the only veteran here. Now I have so much more respect for you. I love you, man. You're awesome for this space or whatever. That comment got 600 likes and I made $2,500 from that comment. And some of those sales were within seconds. I mean, they came to my page and I immediately hit them up. Boom, sold.
Okay.
Within 10 minutes, the purchase was done.
Okay.
Caroline Haney, the momtrepreneur, we are really close friends now, all because of a comment. I won a contest on her page. She was supposed to call me up and pay me the contest $1,000 or whatever, on like a Thursday or something. She never hit me up. So on Friday, I went back to the comment and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got this. I've never won anything in my entire life. Trying to hint, you owe me $1,000, you know? And so, you know what she did? Out of nowhere, calls me up and she's like, I'm so sorry. I forgot yesterday, blah, 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 blah. Well, I was honest with her and I was like, no, I'm not worried about it. It's okay. Like, you know, I'm like, I actually already tithed on this. I already knew that you were going to pay me. I tithed on it already. I already gave the $100 to my church. This girl starts sobbing, weeping, crying, telling me her story about how she just got baptized a month ago and all this stuff. And like how God who put a fire under her butt to make this new course or whatever. So both of us are telling us our testimony. I'm one out of a lucky 79 people that yet she even follows back. And so both of us are crying on the phone, talking for like an hour about life and Christianity and our belief and how this business has changed and everything or whatever the case. So she doubles it. She sends me $2,000 and my comment got a bunch of people, traffic coming from her page. I sell another $1,000 in two UBC sales or whatever, because people won't buy from those big pages usually. They'll follow and love things, but then your page comes along and you're much more relatable. We trust you. You're actually going to communicate with me, not a bot, a robot hitting me back, your chat bot or whatever the case, right? So you adding those people to your favorites can make a big difference in your sales for the week, and just being the right, and by commenting on the big, that shows the algorithm this is where you belong, right? That shows the algorithm that you belong with this big page here, that you're interacting regularly with a big page all the time, and they are responding back to your comments a lot of times. And that is it. You are armed, my friend.
Okay. Great. I'm excited.
Good. Yeah, you feel good? Feel more armed? All right. So from here, you know, you send me, you know, I should expect you to be able to do your transitions on your own, but if you need help in the very, very beginning of a transition, it's fine a couple times or whatever the case. But for the most part, I want someone to at least be displaying some sort of interest in what you have to offer, about UBC or whatever the case. And you know, until you get the hang of how I'm doing things, don't feel bad how early it is when you send me that screenshot of where the message is left off. I want you to get comfortable with going ahead and sending me, hey, and this is how it goes. You know, this person started in February. They got 300 followers. All they have is the mentorship. How do I proceed? And you send me the screenshot of the last whatever. So I need a little synopsis about the person. Usually I ask for the number of followers, the number of posts, and what they have in their, how long they've been doing it, and what they have in their product suite. That usually lets me know everything I need to know about how to approach that. And so now, sometimes you run across somebody that you immediately see a tall tale sign. Let's say you run across somebody and you immediately notice that they've got 65 posts and they've only got 75 followers. What should that tell you?
That they need help.
More so that they suck?
No, but that they might need some support.
No. If they've posted that many times and they still only have that many followers, something is wrong. All right. One of two things has happened. Either they are a business account and not a creator account, or most likely they started their account and they did not post right away, or they started their account and only post one time and then they took a 2-week break before they post again. Inconsistency in the very beginning of a page is what ruins your algorithm more than anything. You can never recover that algorithm. Okay, so if you did not start posting right away, a tall tale sign, they'll never break 100 followers. They'll fight for 3 months trying to get up to 100 followers.
So wait, I thought we were supposed to be business accounts.
No, you need a creator.
I think I have a business account.
Yeah, you need to fix that.
Maybe that's. Is it too late? Am I screwed?
No, it's not too late. No.
I thought that I swore in like EBC or something it said to have a business account.
Find that for me. I don't think so. We've been taught since day one you need a creator account.
How do you even go? Let's see.
It is pretty easy to find.
Account center. Where would it even be? I really thought that we were supposed to have business account status. I don't even remember where to go look.
I mean, I'm
I thought for like insights and stuff.
Yeah. So
better to have-
I don't remember where it is because I'm recording right now. So we'll have to do this in our other time.
Sorry.
But it should be easy to find. Again, you should see an area that says switch to personal account, switch to business account, or switch to creator account, whatever the case. You want creator. I'm 99.9999999 sure.
Okay.
If you can find something else or whatever the case, then I'd be open to listen, I'm sure. But like I'm 99.999. I'm literally about 100% sure that it needs to be a creator. And so anyway, the point is, guess what happens when you run across a page and that person has not nobody helped them, right? They're if they have 60 some odd posts and they're still under 100 followers, something is wrong with your account. Okay?
Yeah.
Even if you have 30 posts and you're sitting there at 70 followers or something's most likely wrong with your account, right? Because if you start a brand new account and you start a creator account and you post 5 days in a row, 1 post a day, 5 posts, you can get to 100 followers. It happens every single time. So if I run across someone's page and I see a big tall tale sign like that of a mess up, I can 9 times out of 10, I can scroll to the bottom and see that they took a break in the very beginning, a week long without posting, after 1 post or something like that, or a month or whatever the case, ruined their algorithm. Or sometimes you'll run across somebody, they only got 5 posts, but their profile no longer says new, right? Under the profile picture. Well, so they've had that account for a while, right? Because it takes like 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the new goes away. And so they've had that account for a while. So if they've only got 5 posts, 9 posts, and it no longer says new, guess what? You get to come along and teach them, hey, who's your mentor? Like, has nobody come along and taught you? There's something wrong with your account. Don't beat yourself up. It's not your fault. Your page, your content is great. You just messed up your algorithm. Has no one come around and has no one taken interest in you and wanted you to succeed like this before? Guess what happens? You talk that person into starting a new page, 5 posts, 5 days, they get 100 followers. Guess what happens after they start that new page and they have 100 followers and now they're finally seeing growth? They will eat out of the palm of your hand. You can sell them anything you want. 10 times out of 10, every person that I have come across and made them start a new page, they have bought from me a week later. Every single one. All right. Congratulations. You made it 2 hours and 23 minutes later. But it's okay because I finally got this one recorded. Woohoo! All right. Okay. Have a wonderful day. We will be in touch. All right. I'll add you to my favorites. You're going to be added to the Sales Mastery group, all that stuff. Give me, a couple hours to get all this stuff uploaded and everything. I got to get out of here and get to the gym and finally what is it?
Could I bug you? Not right now, but like to help me with that one person I'm talking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get going. I don't care. I'm good.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right.
Thank
I'll talk to you
so much. I
soon.
appreciate it.
Good luck.
Okay, sounds
All right.
good. Bye, Tim.
Bye.